Hello, Facebook and YouTube. So we have an update on our in-person gatherings. The state has closed indoor operations once again for many sectors of certain counties. Ventura is one of those counties, and worship services, places of worship are one of those sectors. So in other words, we as Grace Church are being asked to not meet indoors. So we're not prepared to move our services outside. Do that and stream is just a little bit beyond us right now. So once again, we'll be having our services online only. And I know that's a big bummer. I know some of you may feel that it is unnecessary. Some of you may feel that it is just flat out government overreach. We can still show love and compassion to our community, show solidarity with our community, whether we totally agree with this decision or not. This is not so that we need to protest by moving against these orders. So for now, we believe that our leaders are making the best decisions possible with the data at hand, and it's always shifting. And I can only imagine how stressful it must be to make decisions for so many people in so many sectors at the same time. And I may not agree with all the decisions being made, but we want to show solidarity with our community and the love of Christ. And even if it is some of our rights that we may be laying down, we can lay them down with love and meekness to show the love of Christ. So we will be having online services. We'll be, as we were a month or so ago, our live services will stream on Facebook at 10 a.m. and then we'll upload those to YouTube by Sunday evening. We're going to shoot for 6 o'clock Sunday evening, but now we're uploading in 1080p, and that just takes a really long time to upload. So we'll get that up on YouTube as fast as we can Sunday evening, shooting for 6 p.m. So I want to remind you that whether we gather in person or virtually, we are still one church, and we worship the one true God in spirit and in truth. And so even if we can't meet physically together, God is spirit, and we worship him in spirit and in truth. And we can do that even if we gather over the Webernet. And I want to remind you that God has plans for these frustrating times. His plans are not in spite of these times, but his plans are going to use these times. Just like he used the death of his son, just like Christ used his crucifixion to bring us salvation. God is not limited by the activities of humans, by the circumstances of this world. God is sovereign over all of that, and he is going to use these things to bring him glory. For the world to cloud our mind with negative things, with hostility, with division and bitterness, and the Spirit is not those things. What are the fruits of the Spirit? Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness. Self-control. And I was driving on the road today, and I was getting kind of frustrated with the traffic around me, and I was aware of this physical sensation in my mind where it was like I was engaged in hostility with the world. And the Spirit whispered to me and said, "You don't have to be there." And it was like a weight was lifted, and I wasn't competing with the people around me. I was at peace. I was in Christ. I was in the Spirit. And that is how we will be able to move to the world in love, is by walking in the Spirit and not in the flesh. And so I want to encourage you, put your faith in Christ in these times. Whether you're mad at people for not wearing masks and not taking the virus as seriously as they should, or if you're mad at people for overreacting with the virus and for the politicians using the virus to push their political parties and agendas, wherever you are with all of that, remember, Christ is sovereign. God is sovereign over those things, and there is nothing in this world that can make us lose. We are more than conquerors in Christ Jesus. The battle is won. Right now, we are learning how to walk in the victory that we have and invite others into that victory. Because that betrays a belief that, or a lack of belief that you're walking in victory. Even while we are persecuted and taken advantage of, and we can have peace, because this world is not our home. It's our temporary home, and we are walking in heavenly victories. I think of in Ephesians, where it says that God's purpose for the church is to declare his manifold glory. Is that what it says? His manifold glory? To the rulers and the authorities in the heavenly places. We are declaring the reality of the gospel, the worldwide victory of God, to the heavenly places in the ways that we live our lives on this earth. So let's not get caught up with just winning worldly wars, because we can win worldly wars and lose our spiritual calling. So let's maintain our faith and our hope in Christ and our love for each other, not forsaking our gathering together as we gather, even as we gather online. And let's be creative and find ways to be the church for our community in this time. The second announcement that I have for us really quick is we've been having Thursday Zoom meetings to discuss our sermons as we were going through the series, How Relationships Work, and those who have attended those meetings have found them so life-giving and full that we've decided to keep them going even as we move into our series in Romans, but we decided to move them to Tuesday nights. And so now our Zoom meetings will be on Tuesday nights. If you'd like to join those meetings, you should have an email in your inbox, maybe in your promotions box, from Grace Church. If you're not on that list, just email me and I'll get you a link to that Zoom meeting. We'll be meeting every Tuesday night, starting tonight at 7:30 p.m. to discuss the book of Romans, our lives, how we're feeling, pray for one another, and also pray about God's purpose and plans for Grace Church during this time. All right, well, I sure love you guys. I hope you'll join us tonight on Zoom. It really is a great time. It doesn't replace meeting face-to-face in person, but it sure is nice to see each other's faces and to hear each other's voices and to connect in that way. And so I want to encourage you to do that. And just know that I love you. I'm praying for you. I know you're praying for me. And as we maintain our perspective on heavenly things, there's nothing that we can't handle in this world. Maybe to rephrase that, there's nothing that God won't handle for us in this world. God does bring things into our lives that we can't handle. David couldn't handle Goliath. Daniel couldn't handle the lion's den. The Israelites could not handle being stuck between the Red Sea and Pharaoh's army. But God allows us to come into these times where we can't handle therefore, so that we will give up our control, the lie of our control over our lives, and see Him come through for us, and He gets the glory, and we get the joy of knowing Him more and experiencing His love. So let go during this time. Let go and receive God. All right, I love you. I hope you're doing well, and I will see you tonight online or Sunday online.